After two straight seasons of disappointment and embarrassment, the Los Angeles Lakers are actually finally finals contenders once again. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that sub and like button, and let's get into today's video. Nobody wants to play the Los Angeles Lakers in the playoffs, and let me explain. So, currently, the Lakers are the 7th seed, and they are on the fringe of making the 6th seed. So, if they are able to avoid the play-in, that is not only great for them, but it also gives them extra time to rest up for the playoffs, because this is a team who has a lot of injury concern on it. I mean, especially regarding LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Since the trade deadline, which ended on February 9th, the Lakers are 15-8 in 23 games since then. And you got to remember, LeBron missed a lot of those games, and Anthony Davis has been banged up playing through it, but he's still been kind of hurt here and there. So the masterclass that Rob Pelinka was able to pull off to get rid of Russell Westbrook and to bring in D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley, and Jared Vanderbilt is one that's going to go down in the history books, and Lakers fans should all rejoice that he was able to pull that off. And another thing that's been huge for them is the emergence of Austin Reeves. We've kind of known who Austin Reeves is for the last year and a half, but this season, and particularly in the last month or so, he's really been able to up his game, and he's been scoring the ball efficiently. He plays good defense. He hustles. He's just an overall really good role piece, and he's a starter for them. And it's awesome to see somebody like that be given an opportunity and make the most of it. And since the trade deadline, the Lakers have had one of the best overall defenses in the league, which for the last couple of seasons, the Lakers have had an awful defense that has been really inconsistent at times, and the additions of Beasley and Vanderbilt have been one of the main reasons. So I was actually watching a video earlier by Thinking Basketball. If you haven't checked out his channel, go do. A great content creator. And he was comparing Jarrett Vanderbilt to Dennis Rodman, and how Vanderbilt is this era's Dennis Rodman. And honestly, at first I was a little confused. I didn't really get the correlation, but I can really see it. He doesn't provide too much on offense, but when it comes to defense and versatility, switching on to players that are the best on the other team, he is great, and he's been really clutch for the Lakers this year. And the Lakers don't have the deepest team of all time. I mean, their bench unit consists of guys like Schroeder and Beasley and Lonnie Walker, Troy Brown, Wenyen Gabriel. So they don't really have a center presence off the bench, which would be ideal. But then they also do have other guys like Rui Hachimura, Scottie Pippen Jr. that, in case injuries come up, they can come in and play a role. But the starting lineup, obviously, you're going to have D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, Jarrett Vanderbilt, and Anthony Davis. And as of late, Anthony Davis has been coming into his own. I mean, he's really channeling his prime Anthony Davis. And this is what he was doing back in November before ultimately having a string of injuries and getting sick and all that. So it's awesome to see Anthony Davis really coming out and showing out every game. And LeBron James, year 20, and he is still playing like he's in year 5. It is incredible to see. It's awesome. And this is also a year where he was able to break the scoring record. So it's awesome that they haven't been kind of stuck on the scoring record, because that was a game they lost, and they've kind of flipped the script around and said, okay, now LeBron got his scoring title. Let's go win some games, and let's actually go try to make a deep playoff run. I think another thing that was huge for this team is getting a point guard like D'Angelo Russell. Now, Russell, he's not a top 10 point guard at this very moment, I would say, but he's somebody who, for this team, is definitely better than Russell Westbrook, because they had a lot of times where Anthony Davis would be on the low block, he'd get double teamed, he'd kick out to Westbrook, and Westbrook would just brick a shot. Well, Russell is a very solid three-point shooter, so now he's able to bring some quickness on offense when he drives to the lane, and he brings some pretty good shooting if needed, and he's pretty clutch for the most part, so that's something that they're really going to need for the playoff run. It feels like every season we have these teams that don't start the year off very well, but then they end up going really good, and they go on a run, and they go on a tear. And last season, the New Orleans Pelicans didn't make a run in the playoffs, but they gave the Suns a lot of trouble as an 8th seed, and they took them to 6 games and almost won that 6th game, which then would have ultimately led to a Game 7, which could have gone either way. I think another thing that's been really big for them is the coaching of Darvin Ham. Now, when he was first announced as the coach, I wasn't too sure on how he would do, but he's been exceeding my expectations tremendously. Frank Vogel, he did his job. He was okay. He led them to the championship run in the bubble and all that, but he kind of started to make a lot of mistakes, and luckily they were able to catch on it eventually, and they fired him. Now, again, the Lakers have been a team for the last 2 seasons that no matter how good or how bad they are, the media is always going to hype them up and talk about them and, oh, do they have a chance at the playoffs? And the last couple of years, not really. I mean, they beat the Warriors in the play-in in 2021, and then injuries came in and they lost to the Suns. And then after that, they traded for Westbrook, and then the dominoes fell and the downfall of the team. And then last season, same thing. You just didn't really get a lot for them. And then halfway through this season, they looked awful, and then they traded Westbrook, and now they've got the team they've got right now, and they are on a tear. So this Lakers team is 100% going to be a tough opponent for whoever they draw in the first round. Right now, it looks like if they're able to capture that 6th seed, they will 100% play the Sacramento Kings. And now the Kings have the best offense of all time by measurements and statistics and all that. But their defense isn't very good. So if you throw a lineup of Russell, Reeves, James, Vanderbilt, and Davis at them, Sabonis is good, but come on. You're not going to be able to stop Anthony Davis. You could slow him down, but you're not going to stop AD. Vanderbilt matches up pretty well against them. LeBron is always going to be LeBron. So the thing that's going to hurt them maybe in that matchup would be De'Aaron Fox being able to exploit Russell's bad defense. But besides that, I think the rest of the team matches up really well. And the Kings, if their offense is off, they are going to get blown out by the Lakers. And that's just being realistic because the Kings have a bottom 5 defense. Now, another scenario is they do end up being the 7th seed, they win their playing games, and then they play the Memphis Grizzlies in the first round, which you would rather play the Kings than the Grizzlies, in my opinion. I think at full strength with John Morant, Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson, and all that, I think they're definitely a more consistent team than the Kings, and the Grizzlies just made it to the second round last year, so they have more playoff experience than the Kings do, that's for sure. But I still think the Lakers could give the Grizzlies fits, and they could definitely win the series because Jaren Jackson is going to play good defense on Anthony Davis. But when you look at somebody like LeBron, he's going to have his way. And Jarrett Vanderbilt doing great. He could probably switch on to Dylan Brooks or a Desmond Bane, and that would be huge for them because he'll be able to slow them down and stop them. And then another scenario is they are the 8th seed, and then they go and play the Denver Nuggets, who I think they could give a lot of trouble to. I think the Nuggets are good. Don't get me wrong. They need their respect. Number 1 seed. They've been playing great all year. Only bad part is Nikola Jokic is not good on defense, if you guys haven't been aware of that. So Anthony Davis will go to town and just put up monster numbers against Jokic's defense. And I don't think that they're going to be able to get the 5 seed. I think that's going to be a little bit of a stretch. It's possible, but it's probably going to be the Warriors or the Clippers that get that 5th seed, and then the Suns have the 4th seed pretty much locked up. So they're not going to be able to get the 4th seed. But if they do get the 5th seed, then they'll play the 4th seed Suns, which honestly, I think they match up pretty well with the Suns. But the Suns having Kevin Durant back is going to really kind of mess it up because their defense is really good. But then Vanderbilt's got to pick. Is he going to play Devin Booker? Is he going to play Kevin Durant? Because you can't pick one, so that means the other guy is going to be wide open, or he's going to be able to go on a weaker defender. So yeah, that's going to be the video, just going over the Lakers and how they can make a big playoff run. I can see them winning a first round, maybe even a second round. I don't see them making the finals. I don't think this team is built for the finals, but I do think this is a team that could sneak into the Western Conference Finals, especially if the Dallas Mavericks were able to with just Luka and Jalen Brunson last year. So if you guys did enjoy the video, consider hitting that sub and like button. It'd be much appreciated. On the grind to 2,000 subscribers, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.